Let's flip back to Melbourne now and catch up with an extraordinary little story there about some councillors who often put themselves in the news with their rather radical proposals. Evan Mulholland, the Director of Communications from the Institute of Public Affairs, joins me. Evan, this is a classic. Couple of our favourite councils, the Yarra Council, Darebin and Moreland, and now they're talking about railing against fossil fuels. Now, we get a lot of this from climate activists, I suppose. What I love about this proposal is they're actually calling it a non-proliferation treaty, not a nuclear non-proliferation treaty, but fossil fuels non-proliferation. What on earth are they up to?
It is an attention-seeking stunt from councils that continue to push in areas they have absolutely no responsibility for. We saw this, Chris, with the climate emergency declarations, council by council, knocking them off, and even some governments around the world. We're seeing the same thing with this little stunt, council by council, railing against the use of fossil fuels. They're talking about being pro-worker and wanting a just transition. We know that's just not the case. There are about 1.5 million workers in mining, manufacturing and agriculture, and less than 30,000 workers in renewable energy, most of which are insecure and low paid. So it wouldn't be a just transition at all. But we keep seeing this from councils around, especially in inner city Melbourne, where I am, just not sticking to their knitting and pushing on all these woke causes.
But these council areas better than me, but I know them, and there's a lot of traffic there. There's a lot of vehicles there running on fossil fuels. I mean, it's just absurd that they could survive without them. How are they going to pick up the rubbish to start with?
Exactly. And you know, you could, if they knocked off roads, rates and rubbish and are doing them all perfectly, you could understand them going on to other issues. But as someone who lives in the northern suburbs of Melbourne, I know the City of Yarra have completely botched their recycling bin rollout. So every 2 weeks, when the recycling comes around, the City of Yarra and the streets of Richmond look like a third world country because there's recycling overflowing everywhere. So I think they should stick to their knitting, keep rates low, fix local roads, and actually collect the rubbish. I think that's what residents want.
Do their ratepayers ever arc up about this stuff, or do they not mind paying their rates and indulging these radical Greens?
It depends. There are thousands that have signed petitions against the sort of crazy recycling plans they've got going on at the moment. And I think the council's facing some pressure because for once, finally, they elected an all-majority Greens council. So they have the majority now. And I think the local residents are waking up to what actually happens when you elect all Greens. This kind of stuff, this kind of nonsense that people just hate.
It's hilarious stuff. Thanks for bringing it to our attention, Evan.
Thanks, Chris.
Evan Mulholland there from the Institute of Public Affairs. Just stick to your knitting in local government would be a very good idea, wouldn't it?